What's going on YouTube? So today Vagabond Builds coming at you with a 2021 Ford Bronco 4x4, and we're going to be doing a review as always of the exterior, interior, and specs about the car and what's different exactly on this car. Before you watch this review, please subscribe and like to our channel. It'll help our algorithms. And a special shout out to Future Ford here at Roseville, California in the greater Sacramento area. Let's go ahead and start. So starting on this front end of this 2021 Ford Bronco, the first thing that I want to notice on this exact Bronco is this grille. Now the reason I'm saying that is because different Broncos are going to have different grills, or different packages are going to have different grills. Depending on what you buy and what you get your hands on, because you're selling super fast, you're going to see something different here. But this grille I like in particular. Why? Because I'm a huge fan of the Bronco name kind of going across the grille in a bronze color. Now this matches this antimatter blue exterior metallic color. I'm a huge fan of this. Now the grille itself comes in a glossy black. Take into consideration being an off-road vehicle, you're going to have a higher maintenance grille, so you're going to be seeing dirt and debris on this grille more than maybe a gray matte look. So take that into consideration. Coming over to the markers, you do have these signal lights kind of connected to this front headlight. Now this front headlight, beautiful shape, circular shape, comes full LED connected to the signal light. And one thing I left these lights on is because kind of showing you a nice flow with the Bronco stamp on the front grille, and finishing off with the other light depending on what side you're on. So it kind of gives it a nice flowy look inside that front end. Coming over to the fog light, you have a full LED fog light round, also to match the front headlight. Now you do have this nice bumper. You're going to be seeing different bumpers on these Ford Broncos. This is a 4-door. You're going to be seeing 2-door differences. Now, one upgrade that this Bronco actually has is this winch that's put on from dealer. Opens up the tow hooks, and you're not going to see your tow hooks instilled in the bumper itself. So that's a minor difference that you're going to be seeing. I'm a huge fan of the winch with the skid plate coming down under the car, so you're not hitting anything with regards to your radiators, because you're going to be going off-roading and you're going to be seeing some pretty heavy terrain. You do have inserts here for air, also inserts up on the upper grill to get air flow inside the system. That's pretty cool. You do have the open and close flaps. There is a specific name for those. I don't know it, so don't ask. If you do know it, leave it in the comment section below. So that's pretty cool. Now, coming over to the side, another upgrade that this car has is the 37s, the 17-inch fuel rims, bronze, to match the rest of the car. That's, to me, this is what makes Ford Bronco. Now, talking to people on these new releases, some people are big on just the regular stock look, some people aren't, depending on what you like. A lot of people would rather go with the Jeep because this is a huge runner-up for the Jeep, but some people would rather go to the Ford Bronco. It's all desire, and again, beauty lies in the eye of the beholder, right? So these are fuel rims. There is a leveling kit on this Ford Bronco, so that's pretty cool. You do have your black fender flares here, kind of textured rough look, so that's pretty cool, giving this Bronco a nice rough off-road feel. Something you're going to see here that might be different is you have the bronze Bronco stamp sign here on this fender in a cursive. So this Bronco in particular looks a little bit more elegant than a lot of the other ones. Another thing that you're going to be seeing different is on this side mirror, you don't have the integrated marker or the integrated lighting that some Broncos have. Some Broncos are going to have an option to, you're going to have a light, so by the push of a button before you get in or out of your car, or if you need some light, you know, at night on the trails or something, you can push a button and there's going to be a light that's integrated into the side mirror that will turn on and give you some lighting. Now, what are these for? A lot of people ask. Some people say that they're useless. Some people might say, or a small percentage might say, that they're useful. They are fender hooks. Why are they here? Is because let's say you're going through a jungle or trails with a lot of trees, you're gonna hook up some wires coming from here over to the top of the Bronco. Now this car itself doesn't have the top racks to connect those wires to, but this is a soft top, so there's a little bit difference. We're gonna get to that later in the video, but these here, once you hook up a wire, kind of pushes the trees out of the way so you're not having them on top of your windshield. Another upgrade, you do have spotlights right here. By the push of a button, these turn on, and these are LED, very bright, with an integrated LED bar upgrade. So these, you're gonna be seeing some pretty cool upgrades on this Ford Bronco. Now, to me, if these Ford Broncos don't have these upgrades, it's not that cool, but hey, again, it's your opinion. I'm loving this Bronco just because of the rims, the winch, the lighting, the bar. It's super cool. Now, coming over to the side, huge fan if you've been watching my other videos. One panel on the door, no trim pieces, huge fan of that. Kind of a boxy, straight to the point, basic look. When you're looking at this car, you have your nice matte textured trim along with your black trim going around the windows. Opening this door, one thing that I can show you is this door does not have the side mirror on it. So these doors are removable, but when you're removing these doors, side mirrors don't come with it. Jeep does. So take into consideration, some people like the idea of having no side mirrors and kind of that naked look. Some people like the idea of the Ford Broncos giving you the option to have a side mirror while you're driving. Now, when you're off-road, remember that these are going to be hitting things and things like that. So take that into consideration. Closing that door, you have just a regular straight basic to the point handle, black texture to match all the other trim pieces. Coming over with another fender flare, same trim all around. You do have your gas lid here. Now coming over to the back, this is not a full LED taillight. I wish Ford would have made this a full LED taillight. Now, some people like them, some people don't. You do have the bulbs here, and you do kind of have a nice rectangular shape. Comparing to Jeep, you'd see the difference if you're super familiar with these off-road vehicles. Again, let me know how you like them in the comment section below. Coming over to the bumper, you do have a standard Bronco bumper with the Ford badge right over it in a bronze. So you're gonna be seeing trim pieces here, bronzed. And something that's pretty cool that I think is you only have one LED lighting to light up that license plate. You will have your tow hooks on this car here. And I guess you don't have one on the other side, so one tow hook. Wow, that's pretty interesting. You do have an extra wheel on the back with your backup camera coming out. Now, one thing you might find is these don't have wheel covers. And if you do have a wheel cover that might say Bronco on the back, you might have to cut a hole so your backup camera might see through that cover. That's something else you should take into consideration. You do have your brake light right above the back tire. And let's go into the trunk area of this Ford Bronco. Looking at this handle, again, it matches the other handles. Pretty much what I think that Ford did was just take one of those handles and kind of just turn it over and put it on the tailgate. So this tailgate will open up just like that, and it is assisted with a piston. Now this tailgate can open at different angles depending how you're parked. You can have room. You don't have to open it all the way to get to your belongings, but if you want to, it does open up a whole lot more just like that. And you're now into the trunk space. This trunk space is very big, giving it the boxy shape look. And that's one thing I'm a fan of, is space, space, space in the trunk. By the lift of this belt, you do have a little bit of personal space. You have your tire jack and all that good stuff. And pretty basic, straight to the point. You have your LED lighting back here with a 12-volt inlet, if you come in and check that out, with your tie down hooks here and two up in the front. One pretty cool feature that I think Bronco does around this car is you're going to be seeing that you have the little Bronco emblem integrated into little trim pieces. For example, the lighting and things like that. So that's pretty cool. Now, if we're going to get to this rag top or the soft top a little bit later, let's close this up. So before we enter the interior of the car, I just want to show you two more little knickknacks. Coming over, pushing this gas cap open, which is pretty cool that Ford did, is you kind of see the heritage of the Ford Bronco. So every time you're going to be pumping your gas, you will be reminded of how the Bronco looked and the way they looked coming through the years. So that's a pretty cool feature. And also the Bronco emblem on the back, of course, it's going to be a bronze color to match the other trim pieces here. All right, so we're pretty much done with the exterior. Let's go ahead and enter the interior. All right, so now we're on the inside, the front part of this Ford Bronco interior. And for the sake of the video, I'm going to be talking about the soft top right away, because we want to open it up and get some lighting inside this car. Now, you're going to have different options. Again, you'll have the hard box tops or you'll have the soft rag tops, all depending on what you like. And I would say the soft rag tops are more convenient and easier to take off. Let me show you guys by the push down of these two levers here, just like that. And this, you give it a nice big strong push and you swing that all the way back. Now, you can drive it like that, which is a very cool option to have on this Ford Bronco, being an off-road kind of summery car. The hard box tops, you will have kind of a T-top setup where you just take the one square off and then you take off the passenger square and then you'll have the rest of the box top and you would take that. So people are saying that they are a little bit more, these soft tops are a little bit more convenient than the hard tops, and I would happen to agree with them. So, but you got to remember that with the soft tops, you're going to be getting more noise and airflow coming in than the hard top. So take that into consideration. So what do we see? What hits the eye when we first step into the new 2021 Ford Bronco is the color offset and the simplicity of this car. Looking at the door panel, you see kind of the offset of this kind of sandy brown interior. Now, very hard plastic, durable, strong feel to this. Now, being an off-road car, remember, if it gets dirty or banged up or all that stuff. So this is why Ford is building this car. You do have the only electrical you have on this door panel is the unlock and lock button. Now, would I have wanted Ford to take that off along with the window switches and things like that? Probably, to make it a whole lot more convenient. But when you're releasing this door off, you're taking it off, you have a quick release plug, and this is pretty much the only electrical that you're going to be unplugging. You have kind of a nice net for some personal belongings, papers, or whatever you want to put that in, and just a nice handle, wide, kind of good grip here. So pretty straight to the point. Now, looking at the steering wheel, you do have the black leather stitched, so it's a whole piece, no perforated, and a very simple, straight to the point control panels here on the steering wheel of this Ford Bronco. You do have the little Bronco sign centered on your airbag cover. Again, you have the, standard controls like voice and the music volume and your oh goodness, I forget it again. But your cruise control, there you go. Your cruise control, and you have your standard little rod here for the high beams and the signal lights and all that good stuff. Now, coming over to the left side of your steering wheel, you do have this handle here on the left side of your dashboard. Now, this here is when you're entering and exiting the car, just like this, you're going to have this handle to kind of assist you up into the car. Now, if you pay attention, it does have the Bronco signature written on it. And if you pay even more close attention, that those screws on the inside of those holes have Bronco written on them. So pretty cool little features that Ford puts on this kind of as a stamp coming into this new car. So let's get back in the car, and you have a pretty comfortable cloth seat. You do have the option to get them leather. Again, my best advice to you would be get them in leather if you're going to want low maintenance. These will pick up dirt, dust, all this good stuff, but they are kind of a hard, tough fabric, more like a canvas feel. And I'm sure these are durable too, but the leather are just easier to clean, right? You do have kind of that gray stitching inside the middle of the seat, and then you have the kind of sandy brown color going around the seat and also along with the rest of the trim. Hard plastic on the front dashboard, pretty straight to the point. And then you have some personal belonging space up here on the dashboard. Coming up over here, you do have your sunglasses along with your mirror here. You do have your rain sensitivity sensor here on this front windshield and LED lighting here for night purposes. Sun visors, pretty durable, hard plastic, straight to the point basic on this car. And something else, as we're working our way down, you have your hazards traction. Now, something that's also a pretty cool feature that this car brings to you is that if you pay attention to this little signature car on the traction, you have kind of a little wheel on that rear end of that car. So Ford's letting you know that this is a Bronco that you're taking the traction off. So that's pretty cool. Now, also talking about this exact panel here, you're going to be seeing some differences on the different packages you have. Now, this particular package isn't the fully loaded package. You're going to be missing some little corks and screws inside this, and you're going to be seeing more buttons. Now, one thing I also wanted you to notice is that these covers or these buttons all around this car do come with a very heavy rubberized covering, so making it a more durable and, you know, wet proof cover on these. So it does have a rubber feel. Coming over also to the steering wheel does have the rubber covers, so making a more durable, tough feel on those buttons. Let's come over to the center console. Looking at your temperature, you do have the regular manual buttons that you're going to be pressing, again, like your AC and revolving air, and along where you want that air to flow. You have your music control here by buttons. So that's pretty cool. Very basic, simple, straight to the point. You don't get much. You do have heated side mirrors, so you can push that button to heat up your side mirrors to defog those. That's also pretty cool. Coming down over, you do have this nice Ford placard here, letting you know that it's built at Michigan plant, giving you a little bit about the car and the VIN number and all that good stuff on this little placard. So that's pretty cool. Have a HDMI USB-C port. Now, on some, you're going to be seeing a different setup on this center console. This little goat wheel that they call it, which means going over all terrain modes. This wheel will be set up here in the front, and you'll see some little differences in the center console setup. Also, this exact center console doesn't have the wireless charging pad, so take that into consideration. I think that's a huge thing that you should have in the newer cars, but you have a little personal cubby area along with your cup holders, very nice, wide, deep cup holders. And then coming over to your window switches. Now, I do think that this is where they should have put the unlock buttons also, to completely give that door panel an electric-free door. But you have your switches here in the middle along with your locking window buttons, and then you have your side mirrors to where if you press the L button or the R button, you can control either side mirrors. These are also covered with that nice rubber feel, very strong durable feel, very strong center console feel. It doesn't move, pretty, you don't get that cheap plastic feel in this car. Now, pushing this lever here, you do enter the personal room area here, and you get belongings. You can put whatever you want down there. Now, this has the rim center cap in it for the rims, and then you have a little cubby removable tray or whatever you want to call that. So pretty good size. You do have a 12-volt inlet here that you can connect to, and you can also lock it by the removing of your key from your key fob, and you can lock this cover along with locking that glove compartment. Now, talking about the glove compartment, very basic, straight to the point. You got all your knickknacks in there and papers and all that good stuff. But opening and closing that, you can also lock it with that key removing that key from the key fob. Now that's kind of inconvenient seeing how everything's going techie, but hey, again, simple car, straight to the point, basic. You're not getting tech on this car, you're getting the off-road feel, and that's what you're buying. Taking a look at these vents, look at that, you get that rugged feel on the vents. Very nice shape with a little bit of accent on that sand brown. Very cool. I kind of like that, giving a little bit more character to the interior of the car. Bronco on that front dashboard. You do have the airbag on the front dashboard. Now, something also that is different from the Jeeps to this is that you have your side airbags here. Jeep said that they couldn't instill those airbags inside these rails, but Ford made it happen. So it's a pretty cool safety feature that you get with these Ford Broncos if you're going off-roading. Now, it is an extra airbag if something does happen, like a lot of things happen going off-roading. You're going to blow these airbags and you're going to have to replace them. So depending how you feel personally, I like the safety feature, but being a car guy, get rid of the airbag and making it kind of just a raw, straight to the point rail. That is personal opinion again. Now a little bit about the goat wheel. Coming here, you can go into different terrain, different modes of your four-wheel drive. You get your 2 high, your 4 high, your 4 low, and on different packages, you will have a 4A setting with a decline setting. So if you're going down rough hills or rough mountains, you press the center button here and it'll assist you on declining down that mountain or hill, just like that, if you see that. Now there's a little Bronco on that little picture there too, so that's pretty cool. Now let's turn this puppy on so we can kind of get an idea of this nice screen here, along with partly manual cluster with a digital cluster. Check that out. And you get the Bronco opening up, letting you know, signature there. And we're in accessory mode just for the sake of the video. So you do get your speedometer here. It is manual with the manual needle. So that's also pretty basic. Would I have wished this to be full digital? Again, it is all according to what you desire. I would have wanted it full digital, kind of giving you more of the newer techie feel. But looking at this cluster, you don't have much change from this exact cluster, so I can't throw on navigation or anything of that sort on that front cluster. But you do see that the RPMs is in the form of a rectangle, along with your mile per hour is digital, along with your manual tachometer. So how do you feel about that? Leave it in the comment section below. You do, on the right side of the digital part of that cluster, can change your settings. So if you want to see the PSI to your wheels, if you want to see certain things that the car is doing, you can change that by the control panel on your steering wheel. Coming over to the screen, you do have a touch sensitive screen. You're going to have to push a little bit hard on that screen. Again, so when you're pushing it, just take into consideration it's a rough car, durable car. Radio, going back, add phones, sound, get your vehicle, and then you can go through and find out more about that, your clock and things of that sort, connectivity. So, and your features on the car. One thing that this car does have different from other cars is you don't have aux button setups, to where if you want to hook on like little attachments like this LED bar or the spotlights, this exact package doesn't come with the aux already wired up for the buttons. So what they did is they put these little 2 buttons wired up to your LED bar and your LED spotlights. So this is kind of tacky, just connecting it onto your front dashboard. So I wish every package would have came with those aux buttons, and we'll put that and we'll show you a picture in the video. Now we're pretty much done with the front side of this interior. Let's get on over to the rear. All right, so we're on the rear side of this interior. We do have the matching seats with that gray with the sandy kind of brown look. Seatbelts, 3-seater bench, and you have a little bit of lighting, LED right above the middle headrest. Pretty cool. And let's check out the space of this. Being 6 feet 2 inches, you do have some leg room. Now these seats in the front, everything is manual on this car, no electrical on these seats or these back seats. Kind of the seat is in an upright position. Can you lean them back? No, you can. So depending on how you feel, again, certain cars would allow you to push those seats back. But door panel, pretty simple, straight to the point. No unlocking button on the rear. Door panels, so when you're taking that off, you got your old shiznit handle. Love these things. And your head, pretty good clearance on this soft top. Now on the hard tops, I do think that they ride a little bit lower, so you have less head clearance. But if you want to slouch down just like that, it's pretty much straight to the point. Nothing much different on this rear end of this car, and we're pretty much done. Let's get over to the motor of the car and the specifications of it. Now some specs about the motors on these cars and the options that you have on these Ford Broncos. This particular one is a 2.3 liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder motor. Now the options you have on the transmissions is a 10-speed automatic transmission on this 4-cylinder or a 7-speed manual transmission. Now I'm a huge fan of the manual transmissions. This produces 270 horsepower to as where the V6 2.7 liter EcoBoost engine produces 310 horsepower in a 10-speed automatic transmission. So depending on which one you want, again, the V6 will have a little bit more kick to it. So guys, we're pretty much done with this car and the review. Let us know what you think. Subscribe, like to our video, and thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned because we got some more things coming along.